So welcome back to my property buying journey. For those of you who don't know, my name's Lauren and I work for an online personal finance website called Money to the Masses, and I am in the process of buying a house. So I thought it'd be really great to share my house buying journey with you, including the highs and the lows. So in this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the next stage of the journey. And in this particular point, we made an offer on a property. So we made our first offer on a property that we really liked, and it didn't quite go to plan. So we went and viewed a property that we really liked. So in the last video, I previously touched on a property that I had been watching for a little while, and I saw that it came off the market with a certain estate agents because it couldn't sell, and then it went back on the market with another one. We really liked this property. It was in an area that we really wanted to live in. It had 3 bedrooms, which is something that we were looking for. So we decided to go and view the property. We booked the viewing on the Saturday, and we went to... No, we didn't. We booked the viewing on the Monday, and we went to go and view the property. So we went to see it in the dark because it was an evening. Went to view the property. I already knew the area. I'd walked past it a few times, so I'd seen it in the past. I just wanted to view inside the property. Now, one thing that I have learned viewing the properties in this process is that estate agents and the cameras are magical. I mean, the difference that they make on a property is a wide lens camera is an estate agent's best friend, because it makes everything look huge. Yet when you go in a property, I found in this particular property, I had a sense of disappointment, as if to say, oh, the lounge isn't as big as it looked. And so do prepare yourself for that. And I learned quite a lot to just look at the floor plan and then go by a previous house that I'd looked at and compare everything to that instead of looking at the photos, because when you actually see the property, 9 times out of 10, you'll be disappointed at the size, potentially as a first-time buyer anyway, because you are looking at a slightly smaller property depending on where you are moving to. So we went to look at this property. We really liked it. It had built-in wardrobes in the front bedroom, which was something that we liked. So we had a look around. It did have a small garden, which was something that we would potentially be compromising on, but it did have a garage, and it was in an area that we really wanted to live in. So this was something that we was willing to compromise on, because it did have a garden, but it just wasn't as big as potentially what we would have wanted. But at this point, this was within our budget, and we could see ourselves living there for a period of time. So we decided that we really liked the property and that we wanted to view it again. And we didn't waste any time into viewing the property. We was probably a little bit too eager and got caught up. But I think because we've been watching the property for a little while, we decided that we wanted to view it as soon as possible. So we booked in another viewing. I think it was actually for the next day. So definitely, in hindsight, probably too eager. However, we decided that we really liked the property and we didn't want to miss out, because at this particular time the market was quite competitive. So we then decided to go and view the property again. This time my partner was at work, so I went on my own and with a family member, and we had another look at the property. Decided that we really liked the property. I'd spoken to my partner, and we decided that we wanted to go for it, so we wanted to make an offer. So we made an offer at the property, but when we was looking around the property, I noticed on the hallway that there was potential signs of damp, or there was like cracking plaster and paint. So there was potential signs of a leak, and we couldn't see where the leak was coming from. So this was something that we would probably have to repair when we moved in. So we decided we wanted to make an offer, but based on this, we knew we would have to spend money on the property when we moved in, so we went in for a lower offer. Now, the property that we was purchasing, we went in about £10,000 lower because we didn't know the extent of the damage and the leak, and we went in at what we thought the property was worth. So we went in with a lower offer. I called the estate agent and I said the offer we were making and why we were making that offer. She went to the buyer, and the buyer rejected our offer. I was half expecting the offer to be rejected because we had gone in £10,000 lower, but we went in with a reason. We decided to go in lower because, and advised by family members, because of the fact that there was a potential leak in the property. So then we had to make a decision if we wanted to make a counter offer, what the counter offer was going to be, and how much we wanted the property. We decided that we really liked the property and that was something that we wanted to go for. So we decided that we would go back and offer the asking price of the property. Now, in hindsight, when you look at our decision to do this, maybe we jumped up too high. Maybe we should have gone up £5,000 before offering the asking price, but at the time we was caught up in the excitement of purchasing the property, and we decided to offer the asking price because we didn't want to miss out. And which is fair enough. There is probably I don't think there is any real right or wrong when it comes to offering a property. It depends how much that you want it. You can always try your luck, but it can go both ways. And also, it's been a learning curve in the journey. It's something that we've learned and we will take with us when we go and purchase other properties, because we'd never done it before. So we would take advice from family members, but we just went with what we thought was right at the time. So don't be afraid to do that, but obviously be aware that you probably will make mistakes and you'll learn from them, like we have as well. So we went and asked for the asking price, and then the homeowner came back and said that they wasn't accepting the asking price, but they would accept £2,500 more than the asking price. And we had already decided that the asking price was the absolute maximum that we were going to pay for the property, because we had identified signs of a leak. So we didn't want to pay any more than what we thought the property was worth. So I said no, that we didn't want to jump up to that. And they went back and said to the homeowner that we weren't jumping up to that. So we said that was fine. We heard back in 2 days that the homeowner was still not going to drop to the asking price, and they still wanted £2,500 more, particularly because they had a few more bookings. They had a few more viewings booked in for the rest of the week. So we decided that we were just going to stick to our guns and that the asking price was our maximum offer. And funnily enough, I felt like the estate agents thought that the homeowner was going to accept the asking price, because they seemed quite keen to close the sale. But the homeowner wasn't budging, and they decided that they didn't want to drop to the asking price. So we decided that was fine. We had a discussion amongst ourselves and we were prepared to lose the property. So we decided that we weren't going to pay any more for the property. And in hindsight, I actually think I'm really pleased that that happened, because I feel like we would have been paying more than what the property is worth. And like they always say, something else will always come along, and for us it has, and it did. But it was really interesting because the homeowner in this particular instance didn't want to drop to the asking price. But funnily enough, a few months later, I think it was about 8 weeks later, the house still hadn't sold, and then it actually got reduced to the original price that we offered on the property. So I thought that was quite funny, because we went with what we thought the house was worth, and it turns out we were actually right, because it got downvalued to it got reduced to the price that we originally offered. And then since then, I think a few weeks after this happened, it has actually sold. So that's quite interesting, and that's my personal experience of what happened when we first put an offer on our first property. So be sure to stick to your guns. Only offer what you think a property is worth, and when you are offering for a property, always be prepared to lose it. But like in our case, it could potentially work out in your favour. And don't worry if you don't do things what you deem as being right, because I was really stressing that I potentially messed it up by making the wrong offer, and in the end it all worked out in our favour. So that is what happened when we first made an offer on the property. And in the next video, I will share, I will bring you up to date of where we are at now and the next property that we found and we liked. So if you have any questions on my house buying journey, then please feel free to email me, lauren@moneytothemasses.com, and I will try my hardest to answer them for you. That's it for today's video, but look out for the next update in my house buying journey. Thanks for watching.